Prepare to get gas, because it's time for the Week in Gear. This week, Behringer clones something Moogy, PRS and Herman Li release a guitar with a self-destruct feature, and Rainger Effects decides fuzz pedals weren't weird enough already. This episode is sponsored by the upcoming super secret THOMANN'S summer sale. So, stay tuned to hear about those deals in a little bit. Now, let's kick off this week's 5 most exciting gear releases with something that looks suspiciously like a Moog pedal, but definitely isn't, for legal reasons. Up first, this is basically a Moog, that's Moog to most people, MF105 Moogafoga Murf, in all but name, and hopefully one or two internal components. The Behringer BM15M Murf Box is an 8-band resonant filter with sliders, sequencer patterns, and enough movement to make your guitar sound like it's possessed by some kind of angry synth ghost. It's not a regular pedal, so I'll kind of explain what it does. It takes your guitar signal, or synth if you're that way inclined, or even bass, and chops it up with those resonant filters into little sections of EQ that can be moved around in patterns. Kind of like 8 auto wahs that you can program in different sequences. You can also decide how much it pulses, squelches, or generally freaks out, making your chords or riffs sound like they've been run through a synth from the future. This is a fun, creative effect. You get 12 animation patterns, envelope and LFO controls, and the option to toggle between bass and mids focus on those EQ slider things. And if you've ever listened to someone with a Moog filter pedal and thought, oh, I'd like that, but cheaper, here you go. The Murf Box also has a drive knob for adding some nasty filth on top, because obviously your filtered funk loops needed to be crunchier. The price is predictably Behringer and un-Moog, which means it's coming in between 125 and 150 notes. And if you're into synthy textures, or you just want to annoy your bandmates, this could be your next toy. What I do like about this is if you know nothing about sequences or synths or programming or LFOs, then this is a simple way to get those kinds of sounds without having to get some sort of expensive doctorate in synthesis. To give an obvious joke, even your bass player can use it. You know, it's that simple. Just a quick side note, Behringer have been at the center of attention recently with the Bill Finnegan lawsuit, which is causing Behringer to change their blatant clone, tut, to the Centaura Overdrive. Behringer are never out of the range and focus of controversy, but this Murf Box is actually exactly the kind of thing that I support Behringer doing. Creating decommissioned products that are no longer available and selling them at affordable prices. So for this particular pedal, I am fully on board. In fact, I'm so far on board that I ordered one from Thomann the moment I saw the Behringer announcement email, which is why the gasometer soars all the way to the top, almost, with buy it now. And if you want some fun, why not sell a couple of pedals you're not using to fund this relatively cheap box of tricks? Alrighty, here's something you don't see every week. PRS and Dragon Force shredder Herman Li have teamed up on the Chleo Signature, a guitar so extra that Herman famously kick-smashed it live on stage. That was great. This is the kind of product testing that I like to see. This signature model is a limited edition guitar athletics enabling high-end PRS. So, if that is not for you, then please make sure to let me know in the comments, and please make sure to blame me as well. Spec-wise, you get a carved flame maple top on a mahogany body, a 24-fret ebony fingerboard on a 25.5-inch maple neck, Fishman Fluence Omniforce pickups with multiple voicings, a Goto locking trem, and it comes in 2 finishes, Orchid Dust, which is pink, and Charcoal Purple Burst, which is a burst of dark purple, because I love guitar colour names. They're one of my favourite things. Why be subtle? This is a guitar built to keep up with 200 BPM shred lines and apparently spontaneous destruction, which I'm assured does not happen in the actual production models. The price is, well, it's a PRS artist signature, so start checking your sofa cushions for spare change now. And you're looking at around 7,000 to 8,000 notes. I know. These guys are not out to make something that everyone can afford, and if the price point is too painful, you could always pick up an Ibanez S model and a spray can of pink paint and one of those gentleman's torches. I really hope the CGI department don't have the budget for that this week. For me, this sits at borrow it on the gasometer. I can appreciate the craftsmanship, I can appreciate the amount of effort that's gone into this guitar, and how it's going to transform some players' lives. And I would love to try one. I just want to plug it in. But I am 99% sure, no, I'm 100% sure that most of the work that goes into these will be absolutely wasted on me. If you do happen to have almost 10,000 notes hanging around, this is a limited edition signature guitar, and the resale value on this could be huge. Either that, or this model is going to flop completely and you're going to be able to pick them up half price in a few months. My crystal ball is out of order this month, so I don't know which way it's going to go. No idea. Do you need a break? I know I do. Okay, let's have a little break. There is a summer sale coming to the Thomann website, and it is top secret until the 2nd of July. But as a viewer of this episode of TWIG, you get to hear about it before anybody else. Cool, huh? The sale is so secret, I can't tell you exactly which products will be discounted. What I can share with you is me reacting to reading the list of products. There's there's 3 guitars with 70% off. There's some pedals with 65% off. There's a fuzz that I might actually get, so I'm going to write that down. Buy Fuzz on Wednesday. There's an amp. That's a good deal. Thomann have given me an exclusive link to share with you, and you'll find that in the video description. So go there now and bookmark it, ready for the 2nd of July. The sale ends on the 22nd of July, but there will be updates throughout the sale, so make sure to check back regularly. So thank you to Thomann for sponsoring the show, and let me know if you pick anything up. I'm going to get that fuzz. Well, I will do on the 2nd. If you've ever dreamed of owning a guitar from the cover of Blow by Blow, but you don't have a spare million notes lying around, Epiphone has your back. This is the Jeff Beck Oxblood Les Paul, a tribute to his famously heavily modified 1954 gold top. You get a mahogany body with a maple cap, just like the original, which is no surprise as this is a Les Paul. A one-piece mahogany neck with the Jeff Beck custom large C profile, which is a chunkier neck shape. You get Indian rosewood fingerboards with an aged trapezoid inlay selection. So, yep, nice. Gibson USA custom bucker pickups, which is a big deal at this price. Gold speed knobs and the little gap under the pick guards that geeks will appreciate. Apparently. I shouldn't. Of course, it's also in an unmistakable Oxblood finish. Now, Jeff's Oxblood, I kind of fell off the wagon a bit there. I got distracted by the chunky neck. Sorry about that. Jeff's Oxblood was the prototype hot-rodded Les Paul. Originally, it was just your standard 1954 with P90s and a wraparound bridge, but Beck had it completely refinished, overhauled, with humbuckers, and the rest is history. And a Spinal Tap episode. Let's get to the price. It is about 1,300 notes, which is a lot of money for a guitar with Epiphone on the headstock. And a year ago, or a year or so ago, this price point for Epiphones was a total shock. And I was pretty outraged, as were many of us. But now the dust appears to have settled. And without a DeLorean in sight, there is no going back. And honestly, my viewpoint has changed slightly on that, as long as Epiphone continue to offer the standard Les Pauls at an achievable price, an obtainable price. Definitely under 700 notes. And then I have no problem with them doubling that 700 when they want to have some fun with some new guitars. A lot of that statement is heavily affected by the fact that I love Gibson custom buckers, but as I recently compared the Epiphone Greenie to the Gibson Greenie and found that they sounded totally different, I'm no longer sure how far putting fancy pickups in a guitar gets you, and I shall need to do some more research on that. If you are a Beck fan, or if you just love classic Les Pauls, this is probably firmly in buy it now on the gasometer. But for me, it would need to have a nitro finish for me to spend that kind of money, so it drops back down to add to cart. Harley Benton looked at the 80s, shouted, "By the power of Grayskull!" and then kicked the door in wearing bright red spandex. The ST80FR is basically everything you'd expect from a Super Strat, minus the boutique price tag and the 6-month waiting list. You got two flavors to pick from, the dual humbucker version with both volume and tone controls, so you can pretend that you're going to roll back the highs, but never actually do it, and the single humbucker version, which comes with one lonely volume knob and probably a serious attitude problem. This one is my favorite, and it's probably as stripped back as it gets. You plug in, turn up, and worry about the rest later. Both models come loaded with a Floyd Rose 1000 locking tremolo, a roasted maple neck with an asymmetrical C profile, 22 jumbo stainless steel frets on a compound 12-inch to 16-inch radius maple fingerboard, a basswood body, basswood, there we are, with a taper heel cut, and that radiant red gloss finish that looks like it should come with a free can of hairspray and a Rubik's Cube. The pickups are high-output Tesla Alnico 5 ceramic humbuckers that should give enough gain to annoy your neighbours several houses over. I like it. It's going to be fun. I like the look of this a lot, even though it's designed to facilitate music that I probably wouldn't play on it. But I am a huge fan of bands like Weezer, and that single humbucker model is absolutely ding-ding ringing my bell. Let's talk money. The single humbucker version is going to set you back around 400 notes, with the dual humbucker adding about a further 50 notes on top. I have a lot of time for Harley Bentons at this price point. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel, it's just a simple, unapologetic shred machine that costs less than some fancy fuzz pedals. For me, the gasometer is kind of stuck between wishlist and buy it now, and depending on how much you like neon finishes and how often you plan to break out your old hair metal riffs, your mileage may vary.
Andy's Pick of the Week!
Alright, my pick of the week. I have saved the weirdest for last, and honestly, this might be the most gloriously unhinged pedal I've seen all year. Rainger FX decided that traditional fuzz pedals were way too sensible, so they built the Razor Fuzz, a box of sonic chaos that comes with a virtual plectrum. What the heck is that, I hear you cry? Well, calm down and stop shouting, because I'm about to tell you. The Razor Fuzz is an intense gated original circuit analog fuzz box with a digital addition. You know how fuzzes can sometimes lose the attack of the pick and just sound like a wall of glorious smudge? Well, the Razor Fuzz brings back that attack, and it sounds a bit like a ring modulator stuck on top of a fuzz. Maybe that's what it is. It's actually quite hard to describe, and I urge you to have a listen to the official release video, which I will link in the video description of this video. And if you make a video on that video, then please link this video and that video, and we'll link all through each other's videos in one continuous echo chamber of videos and fuzz. Anyway, the virtual plectrum has 4 main modes you can select with a switch. Sandpaper, which sounds pretty much exactly like you're running your guitar through a blender filled with coins, in a good way. Metal, a tighter, sparklier, false pinch harmonics effect that kind of borders on hair metal fuzz territory. More 80s stuff. Metal long, I will have to refer to the Rainger Effects website. There we go, my printout. It says, the metal long adds a slightly mad edge to everything. Mixed together with single notes gives a neat, random ring modulator effect. And one note, tuned to the song's key, adds that note to everything you play. So, a tunable pedal note over the top of the chord progression, a root note harmony to a lead line, and it makes your guitar sound like it's trapped inside an angry Nintendo. The real party trick here is the pick volume, the little dial that blends in the signal from the digital Plectrum. And I think maybe it's responsive. I don't know, don't quote me on this, but maybe the harder you pick, the more the fuzz reacts. I haven't played one, I'd love to know. You can actually create, I think you can actually create sputtering, glitchy swells that feels like controlling a modular synth. In fact, there's a kind of a theme through this week, isn't there? With the Behringer and this and the Harley Benton. Wow, I didn't plan it. I mean, I didn't contact everybody and say, can you please release those products in the same week, because it will all fit nicely for this episode of Twig. Anyway, sonically, it sits somewhere between a broken speaker, a ring modulator, and a synth getting punched in the face. If you like pedals that sound polite, you should probably run away. If you're a fan of pedals that make you question your life choices, this is absolutely for you. I love that Rainger Effects keeps making stuff that's equal parts genius and deranged. For me, this is buy it now. Only, it's in the UK, so shipping it out would be a problem for me. If I was in the UK, I'd be on the phone or on the old computer right now. This is fuzz in its finest form. Weird, wacky, and hard to explain to non-fuzz heads. Thank you to the wonderful people that support the show on Patreon. Their names are up on screen. Hello, everybody. And thank you to the people that support this show right here on YouTube. Hello to you as well, and thank you as well. So much. If you want your name up on the screen in lights in a future episode of Twig, then click the join button right here on YouTube, or visit the Patreon link in the video description. And here's a special thanks to the top tier members. Alinta, Buddha Blue, Boom Shakalaka, Buzzle, Dirk, Doug Paget, Hugh G. Rection, Yindrik Strelka, Johnny McBadminton, Mike Lute. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Andrew Morgan, Gary O'Neill, Josh Tamberg, Man Dude Bro, PQ Deads, Robin Kelly, Sarang Narayan, and Southern Panda 33. Oh, I nearly didn't make it. Oh, I'm actually dizzy now. Thank you, top tier members. I appreciate you every week, and it's great to have you here. If you have thoughts on this week's gear, don't forget to, that's a rhyme, don't forget to drop a comment in the comments section, and if you haven't subscribed already, why not? Do that, please. Please. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye! Oh, don't forget to check out THOMANN'S summer sale. It's linked down in the video description. Bye-bye again!